Hi and welcome to the Untitled channel. In this episode I'm going to be talking about you, my friend, needing more metal. And by that I don't mean heavy metal music. Obviously you need that. But what I'm gonna be talking about is adding small and impactful details made out of real metal to your costume to take it to the next level, especially if you're a beginner. I'm not gonna be talking about making a full metal armor. I have a video about that armoring technique. Find it in my video list if you care. What I'm gonna be talking about in this episode is some small metallic details that every beginner can add but are afraid to add for some reason. Beginners tend to think that metal is hard to work with or hard to incorporate into your outfit, and nothing could be more wrong. And in fact, if you're not using metal as highlights, metallic highlights on your outfit, then you're missing out on a lot of cool visuals for your costume. Let me show you some examples and let's get your costume to the next level. Alright, so first of all, I've lied to you in the video title. The real title for this video should have been using a balanced material contrast composition in your post-apocalyptic artworks. But, you know, no one would click that. You need more metal, just sounds cooler. So, let me explain what I mean by that, and you need to get it to understand why metallic highlights make your work better. Imagine in this situation, I would not have anything but metal as my costume. It will just all be metal, just 100% metal all over. No webbing, no rubber, no fur color, no nothing, just metal. It would also be sort of boring, so what I did here was combining a lot of metal with a lot of other stuff. Material contrast is exactly what it sounds like. It's using different materials to create something that is interesting. For those couple of guys out there who use just metal in their post-apocalyptic costumes and armors, and those guys exist, to you it's in the reverse. I advise combining those cool metal armors with something else, or adding some non-metallic parts to those, using varied materials. So with that out of the way, let's get to the examples for beginners, where you add actual metallic highlights to your costume. So my friend Fernando right here sent me this picture, and he wrote, "Hey, how can I improve this?" And first of all, I was blown away by the quality, the overall quality of his character. Check out that makeup, that gas mask, it's glowing, that hairstyle. Basically, it's an amazing character, and I wish to see more characters with a kick-ass overall impact like this. However, what I told him is exactly that, plus, hey buddy, you lack some metal on your jacket. Why is it so blank? Looks like an amazing base, you know, the jacket, costume-wise, but you need some more metal. And what he ended up with is this. Now, keep in mind this photo. The photo itself is worse than the one before. You still, however, can see here that he has added some metallic pauldron and here a piece of a clock. Very steampunky. So, overall, this photo being worse than the previous one, the costume itself has been improved a lot. Here are some more shots of his finished costume. You now see he can show more interesting sides, like this side being a different one than the other. And also the overall composition was improved. Now here you can see some shiny metal and there is some non-shiny fabric. And also, it looks like he just spent more time and effort creating an awesome costume, which is exactly what happened. So let me show you some more visuals here. Here is a good example. So this, for example, did not take me a lot of time or effort to add those highlights. Like those clasps I use all the time and buckles. And also this piece of a former folding knife. And this ball bearing. Here are some close-ups. So I don't know what it is. It was just a piece of a knife. And I've just added it to it. It doesn't fulfill any particular function, but it looks like it does. And same for this ball bearing. It doesn't do shit. Just understand, it doesn't need to have an actual function. It's just hanging there, looking cool, looking massive, looking metal. And here is another example. This is something my girlfriend made. This is the Valkyrie top. You can find the full album on my Facebook page. And you also see how much those metallic highlights here and here make the whole thing pop. They just add this amazing metallic contrast. And if you look at the whole thing, these are just a few metallic parts added to it with screws. Here you see how she fastened them on here.
So those are just basically screws. You can see the screwing technique in my video called screw sewing. And those metallic plates right here, I just found them somewhere, I don't know where. If you want to find out where to find cool stuff to craft from, I have a video about that in my channel as well. I could show you a million examples like this because I do this all the time in my works, because this technique is so simple and so powerful to use, and I recommend you do the same. Now, about how to fasten those metallic parts to your costume. As I said, screws is possibility number one. For this ball bearing, I just hung it here. And or you could also make a necklace made out of nuts and similar, or some other metallic parts that are basically having a hole in them. Or you can also put holes into whatever it is and, you know, use thread. This will even work with thick ball bearings. You just fasten the ball bearing, you know, you don't have to drill a hole into it, because in the ball bearing it's basically like an O shape, so you just go around, and yes, thick thread will also hold it if you fasten it well enough. And let's take a look at this jacket. So here I used a very big screw to attach, or actually a bolt, not a screw, to attach this carabiner to the jacket. And this piece of metallic rope, which of course also adds a lot of impact and counts as a metallic highlight, because of course it does, it just is looped inside of this webbing loop. So here is this webbing loop going around, and inside of it is this metallic rope, and it's held in place by those zip ties, cable ties, and this piece of fabric. So here we have a material contrast. Here is some plastic, here is some webbing, which is also color contrasting to this webbing, and here we have some metal. And here is also some big metal with, you know, here is red, it's an echo. I won't go so much into design theory on this.
But then you think, Dmitry, can I use any sort of metal on my costume? Is it safe? Is it good? And the answer to that is, of course, niet. I will give you a quick guide, a quick method, a quick thinking exercise to figure out if any given metallic part is good and safe to use in your costume or not. So, you're gonna be wearing it on your body, and even if it's separated from your body by several layers of whatever, other people will come in contact with you, fighting with you, hugging you, anything. So, to find out if a metal part should or should not be on your costume, imagine yourself doing this. Like, take whatever it is, or imagine, don't actually do this, imagine taking whatever it is into your palm and rubbing it on your naked skin like this with force. Okay? Because it might end up rubbing against your skin or someone else's. If you would be willing to do this, or maybe you're a psycho and are willing to rub whatever against yourself, let's word it like this. If this would leave some scratches, then don't use it. I'm sure as fuck not doing it with this. A piece of tin can. You can totally cut yourself open with this. My girlfriend once hurt herself real bad with this. I also see people using this. Like this part. Like, yeah, you can kind of use it, but be careful with it, because it does leave some sharp edges. Basically everything made out of really thin metal, like anything found in a tin can, it never goes into my costume. I know many people like to use that, but I don't. I consider it to be ultimately unsafe. Because if it's so thin, it doesn't take a lot of damage to bend and tear it. And once you get tears in metal, it made a round on the floor. So once you make tears in metal sheet, metal tin, it is going to be very unsafe. Not a good idea, and if you use this part, then for the love of God, do something to deburr it and to bend it straight again. Just, you know, remember the rule. If you want to press it onto your chest with your palm and rub it around, then it's good to use. If no, then no. I'm going to show you some good and bad examples again. So this is from a sink drain. And from this side it appears to be perfectly safe. However, on this side, here is where I actually cut myself taking this out of my supply box for the sake of this video. So I've cut myself for you, I bled for you, so you don't have to. Watch out for burrs, watch out for tears. Now this is for preparing tea. Like this mesh is probably perfectly safe, but here it could also tear. But generally I would be using this, no problem. But I still would be watching out for potential tears. They can happen during transport, during game. Now, an obvious example, a piece of a shredder or a circular hole saw. This has lost nothing anywhere near your post-apocalyptic kit. Nowhere. No. Nine. Net. Carabiners. Obviously, yes, of course. One of the most awesome things you can wear in a costume. It's practical, it's safe. Carabiners are the shit. Same as, of course, your all-time favorite, the Koppeltragegestell with those aluminum clasps. Now what we see here is again material contrast in action, some military webbing and some nice metallic highlights. This is why I love it so much, because it adds those metallic contrasts which at the same time also look functional. And here we have a plunger from a motor. Now originally this was not very safe because these edges right here, they used to be sharp. So I just used my belt sander, like the mini belt sander, not the big one, and also some manual sandpaper, like using it manually to make those edges more blunt. So yeah, I can rub this on myself. It's not very pleasant, but it's never gonna cut me. And like imagine wearing this on a chain. Mad Max as fuck. Of course, what's always nice to have are nuts like this, and you can just, you know, put them onto a piece of rope and wear them around your neck as a decoration. It looks pretty cool, and you know, it's usually safe. But again, just watch out for the burrs and the sharp edges. Alright folks, I hope this video was useful to you, and if you make some progress with your costumes, do post them to my Facebook page. Do support me on Patreon, it's the first link in the video description. This way I can make videos for you more often. And I will see you in the next episode. Until then, play safe, kick ass, make a great post-apocalyptic costume. See ya.